All right, so I'm B Nash, and we are here with the Weathering the Storm podcast. Thank you for coming on. How are you today?
Appreciate it.
Um, so first, I'd like to start off with the helmets. How do you feel about the helmet design for the Orlando Storm?
Uh, yeah, it's fine. The helmets themselves. I wish if they're gonna go with that black, I really wish they did more of a like they did a stripe down the middle or something. Maybe gave the face mask a different color. Um, excuse me, sorry. I kind of wish they maybe went with like a darker purple instead of the black. Maybe something to just give it more character. Like, I think the black can work, but if you're gonna do it, I think you got to give it a little more orange and purple, some accents to it, give it a little more character and personality than just pretty much a black helmet, black face mask, and then the logo on the side. You got to do just a little something extra to it if you're gonna roll with black as the primary color there.
I do have to say that was a thing a lot of people were saying around the league. It's just a matte black helmet, slap a logo on it, and uh, I don't know. I think they could have done a little better on that. Maybe an orange or purple helmet, but maybe it's not fully edited yet. Maybe the jerseys will be purple or orange or something like that. But yeah, so what would your least favorite and favorite helmet be out of all eight teams?
Okay. Yeah, honestly, if we're gonna go with my least favorite, our least favorite, it probably would be the Storm, for the helmet. Um, I will say they're not my least favorite jerseys. I know a lot of people really don't like the jerseys. I'm not that aggravated by them. I'm fine with the Storm's jerseys overall. I think they need to do a couple little touch-ups to get it where I would really like it to be. But overall, I'm not that offended by the black. I think they can make it work. They just got to change it up a little. But if we're sticking with just the helmets, I would probably say the Orlando Storms is the worst helmet. But the best helmet is still going to be the Battlehawks. I think they're a really tough jersey combination to beat in general. And they slightly changed their helmet. I think they moved the wings in a little bit more than what they were last year, but still, I think that's still my favorite helmet. I love the uniqueness of Battlehawks. I've never heard of a team called the Battlehawks before, and then they have the wings on the helmet right there. I love that. So yeah, I'm still gonna say the Battlehawks are the favorite. I like the Aviators, how it pops off the jersey. It's a little bit different. And then the Gamblers. I love just I think they got the dark jersey perfect in all the ways that the Storm didn't. Um, so those would probably be my top three there.
I'd say the Battlehawks helmets are pretty impressive. But I think we're gonna have some nice uniforms. I'm glad that they changed it up a little. In the 2020 XFL, I really like the Battlehawks blue helmets. I thought those were pretty cool. But if you had a small head shape, the it could look a little packed together. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Moving on to the 2026 quarterbacks. The Orlando Storm has Dorian Thompson Robinson, who we've seen in the NFL before, and I want to say Pummer.
Yeah,
Um,
Plum.
so I'm gonna address this. The Louisville Kings corner. I don't know if you are like
Yeah.
aware of. Yeah. They came on the show a few weeks ago and I asked them how they feel about the Orlando Storm quarterbacks. And one of them, they were not a fan of Jack Plummer. They were going off on him, and I want to know how you feel about him as a quarterback.
So I'm not gonna act like personally I've sat here and watched a ton of Jack Plummer film. So all I really have to go off of is what I've heard from other people that have watched him and from his stats and stuff like that. So I will say, funny enough, I'm originally from Kentucky, not Louisville, but I'm from Kentucky, so I have a lot of friends that are Louisville Cardinals fans who went to Louisville. Um, and the reaction was kind of the similar of what you're telling me from the King's Corner. Uh, I didn't want to put that on blast on my platform because I didn't know it for sure if that was just a fan being angry. And I want to be fair to Jack Plummer. I want to give him his chance in this league as well. But that being said, I mean, the college numbers are solid in his most recent two seasons. I think what 21 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 21 touchdowns, 12 interceptions in his last 2 years, over 3,000 passing yards in both. But he's very much a pocket passer. He's not going to be somebody that's going out and scrambling for a lot of yards. In his junior season, he had negative 126 rushing yards on 52 attempts. So he's obviously getting sacked more than he is rushing. And then his second year, 34 yards on 98 attempts, zero point 0.3 yards per carry. So he's never going to be a guy that can scramble with the ball whatsoever.
Yeah.
Um, and he kind of played on some practice squads, and the NFL played in preseason, but no like actual starting game reps. So we'll see. DTR or Dorian Thompson Robinson is really more of the guy that I'm
I w-
looking at to
I
be the
would
starter.
I would agree. He has more experience, I would say, at a starting position. I believe he has gotten more starts in the NFL than Jack Plummer. So,
Yeah.
do you have any predictions for who you think is going to win this year's championship?
Uh, I think the DC Defenders would be a really safe pick. I mean, obviously they won it last year. It would, and they still have their same head coach from last year. Uh,
I'm a
so that
D
would
I,
be a
I'm a DC Defenders fan, by the way, so I love hearing
yeah,
that.
uh-huh. Yeah, well, of course. I mean, it would be hard. Jordan Teamu. And then I'm pretty cool with the DC Defenders Defending Football Show, sorry. The Defending Football Show, that guy that runs that, he's a really cool dude. Always supporting my channel as well, so obviously shout him out on your podcast. He's a really cool guy. Um, but yeah, I mean, returning head coach, returning quarterback who was probably top of the UFL last year with along with Bryce Perkins. Um, so yeah, I think they're a really safe pick. I think, of course, I got my own bias, but Anthony Becht and the Orlando Storm, I think they could make a run for it. But really, it's kind of hard to know. Like the rosters have completely changed. A lot of these players are new to the UFL, so it's kind of hard for me to predict exactly without actually watching a lot of film and seeing a couple, at least, the first 4 games of the season get played or something like that. So right now, I'll stick with the DC Defenders. That seems like the safest pick, but of course, they could change dramatically by the time the season gets here.
I'm not sure if you play any video games like Madden or anything, but it kind of reminded me this year of a Madden fantasy draft where they just took everyone, put them in a pool, and just drafted them. Um, we saw Jordan Tom go back to the Defenders and Luis Perez, the Spring King, go back to the Renegades. Matt Corral went back to the Stallions, and yeah, um, we are seeing a lot of difference in some other teams though, but difference might be good. Um, I would like to ask you a little about your podcast and why you started it.
Yeah, of course. So I live in just south of Tampa Bay, so it's about maybe 2 hours from Orlando. But I did spend quite a few years living in Orlando while I was going to college, and just working and trying to get my degree. I grew pretty close to the Orlando area specifically, and obviously I've always loved football. I grew up a Colts fan, really loved Peyton Manning. So And then I moved to Orlando and obviously became a huge UCF fan. That's the college school in Orlando. So I wanted to get into sports podcasting, but with the Colts, there's already a lot of veterans who have been doing this for years and years and years, that provide, I felt like, way more knowledge than I could in that sphere. And just a billion different podcasts everywhere, like really oversaturated with, so it'd be hard to stand out, is pretty much what I'm trying to say. And the same thing with UCF. I have people who have been UCF fans since before I was born doing podcasts on this team, and just provide such great content. Um, it didn't feel like I had a lot to provide for the fans of that space. So when the Orlando Storm got announced for the Orlando area, and it was a brand new team with a brand new fan base, a brand new everything. It kind of felt like the perfect opportunity for me to get in and grow as the team grew and grew alongside, this new fan base. So as I'm developing my skills as a podcaster, as I'm developing myself, in my own community with my channel, so is the Orlando Storm, and I thought that was something that could be really special. Um, and it is, and it's been great. I'm so glad that I started it. Sometimes it's a little rough trying to manage work and this. I'm sure just like you with school and whatever else you got going on in your podcast. So
It is pretty hard to manage. So anyone listening to this, if you ever see me not uploading for a few weeks, just know it's hard uploading.
yeah, and editing and all that. It takes up a lot of time. It's not as simple as just I don't want to act like we have it so difficult recording videos, but it does take a lot more time than just recording for 30 minutes and then hitting upload. It sometimes the editing is just it's rough.
Editing, what you're gonna talk about. You have to
Yeah.
have a set topic. Sometimes there can be days that there's big UFL news, and some days it's small retirements and trades and yeah. Um, do you plan on attending any Orlando Storm games this year?
Oh yeah, of course. All the home games for sure. Well, there's one Friday night game. That one's going to be tough, but I'm going to do everything I can to make it. So I would get off work at 5 most likely, unless I can somehow find a way to get off early. It's a Friday night game against the DC Defenders at 8, or
Ooh.
yeah, it's 8 p.m. So it's like I said, I live 2.5 hours away. I have I'd have to try to get off early, work something out, but I'd have to immediately drive to Orlando and get there just in time for the game to start. But that's kind of what I'm dealing with. So all the Saturday night games are fine. I'm off on Saturdays, so I'll drive the 2.5, 3 hours, make it for the game. So all the home games, will be fine.
Did you
Probably
order
not
season
any.
tickets?
Yes, I did. So $50 is pretty easy to pull off, thankfully. So we got two season tickets for me and my fiance there.
Is she a fan? Is she a football fan?
I'm converting her into one. Yes, she
Uh,
wasn't, before we got together, but now she's a huge Colts and UCF fan. It's an interesting combination, but yeah,
teacher, I
she's
mean, make
yeah,
her one,
exactly.
Uh,
And now an Orlando Storm fan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm just so excited for this upcoming season. It is going to be a great season. Orlando, I hope that sketch isn't real of the uniforms. I'm hoping maybe it's orange and purple. But
yeah.
do you have any questions for me?
Well, I mean, I could ask you the same question. If you didn't have to choose the DC Defenders, I know that's your favorite team. Who are your favorite teams in terms of, players on rosters?
Um, so personally, I really like the Stallions this year. I mean, Matt Corral led by AJ McCarron, Jaron
Yeah.
Hall also is on there. Uh, if not the Stallions, probably the Aviators. I really like their helmets. I think the jerseys and the whole uniform is just going to come together really nice. Jalen McClendon, he's probably going to be all right. Same with Clayton soon, but I'd be there to watch it. I mean, I love the UFL. I love the way they play. I've previously seen Jalen McClendon in previous seasons have a few snaps, and he's not that bad. And I do see the Aviators being able to do something, so maybe I'd go in that direction. Between it's probably 50-50 between the Birmingham Stallions and the Columbus Aviators. But yeah, I think both teams are nice. You don't want to have to be a bandwagon for whatever team. So I've gotten lucky with the Defenders the past few seasons. Went out to San Antonio in 2023 and saw the XFL championship before that merger. Met Jordan Ta'amu. Got pictures together. I have a hat half the team signed, and I have a framed
Wow,
shirt that Jordan Ta'amu signed, and it's actually another version of this shirt I'm wearing right now.
that's cool.
It's a Jordan Ta'amu shirt. It's just incredible.
Yeah,
I love the fan base. I said to another UFL fan, it might be eight teams, but really I look at it as one big team because the fan base is just so incredible. It's not win or lose. It's really they just everyone comes together. I saw a Aviators fan asking about like, oh, is it okay to go to an away game because I don't want them to be yelling at me. Am I allowed to
yeah,
wear these colors? And I commented, if you've never been to a UFL or XFL game, it's not about that. Everyone, uh, everyone's so nice. And that game I went to, the two fans that we met and they sat right in front of us. There were two Arlington Renegades fans, which beat us in the championship, and they were great people, so nice. And it's really one big team. We all work together, and I love. I'm a Defenders fan. You're a Storm fan. Connecting throughout the league, and really bringing the fan base together and um, making friendships throughout the league. It's just incredible. I love what the UFL is doing for fans, and it truly is just I like it more than the NFL, and it's truly just incredible what they're doing.
yeah. No, the community's been great, especially to me seeing it firsthand starting this channel. I mean, so many people who run channels for other teams and fans of other teams who have supported me. I mean, it's been awesome. The Runway fan cast, the guy you had on here before me with the Columbus Aviators. That dude was super nice. He said I was an inspiration for him to start his channel. I mean, and that
I,
was
s-
really
I, I
humbling to hear
saw I
that.
saw that comment.
Yeah, and I was like, that was really awesome because I never thought I would be an inspiration for anyone else, and then obviously like I mentioned him before the defending football show. That dude's a really cool guy. And he's supported me since the very beginning as well. And then of course within the Storm community, just so many nice guys. UFL Storm Center on Instagram, Max Holbrook, super cool guy. Um, just awesome. And then the coaches interacting so much with the fans. I mean, it's not like um, almost like you mentioned, like in the NFL, there's almost like a elitist type of feel to it, almost like the players and the coaching staff and everyone and the ownership, of course, is they're all above you. Where the UFL, it feels like we're all just one big group, one big happy family working together. And no, it is awesome. And the players that have followed me and the coaches who have DM'd me and just like had conversation with me and actually like talked to me and supported the channel, my little channel with about 40 subscribers. It's really humbling and it's been awesome. I'm super happy to be a part of not only the Storms fan base, but just the entire UFL. It's been really cool.
I'm looking at the defending football show. This guy's incredible. All
Yeah.
this stuff that he has in his
Oh yeah.
setup. Helmets, the big
Oh yeah.
the big defenders sign, this is
Yeah, he's an
incredible.
OG.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
for sure.
he it's pretty cool.
Get him
Ha,
to 1,000 subscribers. He's really close.
is he on YouTube?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll have to. I have to do that after this episode. You know, yeah, is there anything else got to talk about?
Well, if I could talk about a couple players on the Storm specifically, if you don't mind, is that
Yeah,
cool?
that's fine.
Yeah, a couple top players for me, the standout players on the roster. We got Tavante Beckett. He came over from the San Antonio Brahmas. He was a baller on the Brahmas. He went to college at Marshall. That's where he really blew up. He spent time with the Lions, the Houston Roughnecks, like I just said, the San Antonio Brahmas, where he was all first team UFL in 2024, 2025. Led the league in tackles last year. Then we got Jashawn Corbin. He came from Florida State Seminoles in college, so he's a kind of local guy, born in Florida too. Spent time with the Giants, Panthers, Brahmas, and then went back to the NFL and played with the Falcons and the Patriots, and now he's on the Storm. He also led the league in rushing last year. We also got Chris Rowland. I'm sure you're very familiar with him. Um, and then uh, coming from the DC Defenders. Then we got Chris Claybrooks, I think coming from the Dallas Renegades. And then another player that's not, I don't think has a lot of buzz around him yet, but I think I would keep an eye on him. He could easily break out, and I think eventually um, make his way back into the NFL if that's what he wanted to do. And that's Micah Abraham. He's a defensive back. He's also out of Marshall. He played on the Colts as well, and most recently played for Anthony Becht with the St. Louis Battlehawks. Funny enough, his dad is our defensive coordinator for the Orlando Storm. So those are some players that I would like to call out. We also have Elijah Badger and KJ Hamler, both two sneaky wide receivers I think could make an impact on this team as well.
Mm. So it sounds like this guy who the defensive coordinator is his dad. Sounds like it's dad's pick, starting because his dad's the coach. I'm obviously kidding, obviously.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I made the same joke when I heard that.
yeah,
I was like, well, we got our cornerback one, that's locked in.
yeah. Um, well, yeah, it sounds like the Orlando Storm. Oh, hold up, my video went off. I don't know why. My bad.
It's all good.
But it sounds like the Orlando Storm has a good group of players. It sounds like they are going to have a pretty good chance at competing this season. Not going to have that hard of a time, potentially making a playoff run. Um, but I'm so like excited for this upcoming season. I want to address one more thing about the NFL and the UFL. The kickers that the UFL produces is better than that how the NFL produces them. We got Brandon Aubrey, what was his name? Jake Bates, Harrison Mevis, the thicker kicker,
Yep.
just kicked a field goal to take the Rams to the AFC Championship. Oh, no, NFC.
Yep.
Um, to the NFC Championship, and they did lose, but it's still imagine going from the UFL, the League of Opportunity, to the NFL, kicking a kick that big to take your team to the NFC Championship. It's just so incredible, and all UFL fans should be happy to know that their kickers are being taken care of in the big league. So, well, if that's all, thank you for coming on. Can you just say when we end the recording? Stay
Yeah,
on.
yeah, of
Oh yeah.
course.
All right.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you. This is the Footballs to the Wall and the Weathering the Storm podcast collab. Thank you so much, man, for coming on. Go follow him on Instagram and go watch his show. He's a great podcaster. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm B Nash. Peace out.